So arguably the #1 hotel credit card on the market today is the Hilton Honors Aspire Card by Amex. Because not only does it give you Hilton's top tier elite status, it also comes with a big sign-up bonus, great earning multipliers, and a load of credits and benefits that make the $450 annual fee more than worth it. This card packs a punch, so let's jump right in with a huge boost of 150,000 points when you sign up and hit the minimum spend of $4,000 in the first 3 months. Now, unlike most Amex cards, this card does not earn you American Express membership reward points, but instead, because it's co-branded with the Hilton Honors program, you'll be earning Hilton Honors points instead. With Hilton Honors, there are still plenty of ways you can redeem your points, from getting free nights, to lift rides, shopping, rental cars, and transferring to airline partners, but most of these methods will give you pretty low value for your points, as low as 0.2 cents a point in some occasions. And that kind of makes sense because if you're getting a credit card specific to a hotel brand, you'd guess that the best value for your points comes from redeeming them at that hotel brand, which is the case here. Now later in this video, we'll go over some redemptions to best use your points, like redeeming for nights at the Waldorf Astoria Maldives and their overwater villas. But for now, the popular travel blog The Points Guy values Hilton points at about 0.6 cents a point. But to be extra conservative and to make the math easier, let's go with 0.5 cents a point for this video. So going back to the 150,000 sign-up bonus, even at a 0.5 cents a point rate, that's still a value of $750 right off the bat, which is more than the annual fee already. And we're just getting started talking about the card. Because spending on this card will earn you a ton of points too, starting with 14 times points when you're spending at Hilton hotels and resorts, which include incidental charges like restaurants and spas from the property, as long as they're charged to your room and paid for with the Hilton Aspire card. Next, you'll get 7 times points for flights when booked direct or through the Amex portal, car rentals from select companies, and US restaurants, along with 3 times points on everything else. As for the select car rental companies, they include most if not all of the common ones, from Avis and Enterprise to Hertz and National and more. To put all these rates into perspective, if we use the 0.5 cents a point rate, 14 times points is like getting 7 cents per dollar, which is just like getting 7% cash back. Then 7 times points is about 3.5% back, and 3 times points is 1.5% back, which means these earnings aren't as great as they initially seem, but it's still pretty good. Though I would not consider this an everyday card, and would really just use it if I'm spending at Hilton properties. Because even with lower annual fee cards like the Amex Gold, you're already getting 4 times points on dining and groceries, and you're earning Amex MR points, which are valued at more than the Hilton points. But fortunately, the benefits on the card are only getting started, because it also comes with a load of other credits that will be beneficial if you're staying at Hilton properties, which if you're getting this card, you probably are. Starting with the yearly $250 instatement credit to any Hilton resort charges, including things like restaurants and spa charges to your room. Now this credit might seem awesome at first, but it's pretty restrictive if you dive deeper. For example, advanced purchase rates and non-refundable rates are not eligible, which are usually the ones that are the cheapest. And this credit is for Hilton resorts, not general Hilton hotels. So if you're just staying at cities most of the time, it's gonna be pretty hard to use. For example, if we take a look at a popular destination like New York on a random day in October, you can see that there are over 50 hotels in the general area. But if we swap over to look at resorts, there's nothing. And this pattern is the same if we zoom out too, because Hilton resorts are only a small fraction of the overall Hilton hotels portfolio. But if your lifestyle includes multiple vacations or staying at resorts a lot, then this credit might be awesome for you. Just like how the next credit of $250 in airline fee credits can come in handy if you fly a lot. Again, this credit also isn't easy to use because it's not a basic travel credit that you can apply to any travel, like on the Chase Sapphire Reserve, but instead only for select direct incidental charges and only for the one airline that you choose. So this can include things like checked bag costs, lounge passes, onboard food and beverages, some other methods I won't go into detail in, or my favorite, seat selection fees into premium cabins that aren't considered full upgrades, for example, premium class on Alaska or Comfort Plus on Delta. Up next, you'll also get a $100 on-property credit for any 2-night minimum stay at Waldorf Astoria or Conrad branded hotels, so Hilton's top-end hotel brands. This is not a one-time credit, so it'll apply every time you decide to make a stay. Although to claim it, you either have to book through a certain website or call them and mention the code ZZAAP1 in order to have it apply. This credit doesn't cover fees, taxes, or tips, and is per booking, so it doesn't matter how many rooms you have per that stay. You also can't have it applied to back-to-back stays because any stays within 24 hours will be lumped into just one stay, so you can't use that as a loophole. In a way, it kind of seems like the Fine Hotels and Resorts program that the Platinum Card has, where you get $100 of credit when staying at one of the portfolio hotels, like the Bellagio. Next up, and this one could give you a ton of value, is getting an annual free weekend night stay starting from the first year with a card, as well as an additional night if you spend more than $60,000 in a calendar year. But the great thing is, there's no real restriction on which hotels you can use this credit at, which means you could apply it at insane hotels like the Waldorf Astoria Maldives, which can cost over $2,500 per night in some occasions. So maybe look far out to August of 2023 and book 2 nights at the Overwater Villa, one using the 150,000 points from the sign-up bonus and the other using the free night certificate, which in total will be valued at $5,000 for the 2 nights. Even if you were to book just one night at 150,000 points, at a value of $2,500, that puts your points at 1.67 cents a point, over 3 times that of the average 0.5 cents we've used. But for an example of a more normal hotel, not over water, say you wanted to stay at the Waldorf Astoria Beverly Hills for 120,000 points a night, which would have costed you $12,000 if you paid in cash, which would put your points at a value of 1 cent a point, which is still more than the 0.5 cents a point average. Speaking of reward nights, Hilton also has a 5th night free benefit for bookings with points, meaning if you stay 5 nights at the standard room rate, you'll only pay for 4, which could save you another load of points. For example, if you wanted to stay at the Conrad Tokyo, it's 95,000 points per night. If we book 5 nights, getting one of those nights free, on average, we're only going to be paying 76,000 points per night. And yes, you can combine this with the free weekend night certificate too. Then, like with a lot of other travel cards, you'll also get free Priority Pass Select, giving you and up to 2 guests unlimited lounge access to over 1,200 locations around the world. But with all of that said, which already equates to hundreds if not thousands of dollars in value depending on how you use it, one of the big reasons why people get this card is for the Hilton Honors Diamond status, the top of the line status on the Hilton Honors program. I don't think there's another card out there that will give you the top tier status at any hotel chain. Now, I think the Diamond status itself is already worth hundreds if not thousands of dollars depending on how you travel. But first, you're going to be getting 100% points bonus on all of your stays, so instead of getting 10 points per dollar spent, you'll get double, so 20. But don't forget that with the Hilton Aspire card, you're already earning 14 times points there. So in total, that's 34 times points when you're spending at Hilton properties. And at a 0.5 cent per point value, that's like getting 17% cashback on that spend. Another perk that could be really valuable is the room upgrades whenever available. Usually hotels will give upgrades in the order from top down according to who has the highest status. So being a diamond member means you're at or near the top. Also, if we look at the fine print, only in the diamond member section does it state that you could receive up to a junior, standard, or even a 1-bedroom suite, which can easily be double or more the value of the rate that you paid for. On top of that, you'll get diamond status perks like executive lounge access, elite status gifting, status extensions, room upgrades, and more in addition to all the other benefits that other tiers have, like food and beverage credit and no resort fees on reward stays. And like a lot of premium cards on the market, the Aspire also comes with a lot of insurances, like having secondary car rental insurance, baggage insurance, return protection up to 90 days if the merchant won't take the item back, as well as purchase protection, a year extended warranties, both of which are up to $10,000 per item. So with all of that said, the most important question is, how do we know if this card is right for you? Well, I'd say it's a much harder choice compared to cards like the Amex Gold, given that you're earning Hilton points instead of the more flexible American Express points, because then you're pigeonholing yourself into one specific brand that you can get good value from. On the other hand, you're also getting a bunch of credits and perks, especially like the diamond status, at this specific brand. So if you're a frequent traveler that doesn't mind just focusing on Hilton, really value all the benefits that the diamond status comes with, or want aspirational trips to properties like the Waldorf Maldives, then I'd say this card is right for you. Because even if you just use the credits, or just get upgrades through the diamond status, or stay one night at the Waldorf Astoria Maldives, each of those alone already way more than covers the $450 annual fee. But if you're not a frequent traveler, prefer flexibility and not being loyal to one specific brand, or if you're already loyal to another hotel brand, then this card is probably not for you. Then you may want to consider other cards that can give you great redemptions without having to stick to one specific brand. So check out these videos for more flexible cards that could be better suited for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you over there.